This is not actually a worked example, but I'm going to go through this because this doesn't actually have any worked examples. This is loan repayment graphs. All right, so talking about a reducing balance loan, which is what most of these loans are. What happens is, in essence, your first few repayments, if you think about the amount of interest you're paying, because you're paying interest on everything that you owe, which is the total amount to start off with, your repayments will only just cover the amount of interest that you get charged. So in other words, your balance, your actual principal that you've borrowed, or what we call, the principal, will only get reduced ever so slightly. So you can see in the graph that when you've got this loan, the first few payments, like over the first 12 months even, you're only just reducing your principal, the amount that you actually borrowed, because the interest rate or the interest is such that you pay off, say your interest is $1,200, you're paying off $1,300. So you're actually only paying $100 off the money that you owed, but you're paying all the interest. So have to do that. But what that means is that as your principal reduces, even if it's just by a little amount, the amount of interest that you get charged is also reduced. So you might have paid $1,100 interest the first month, paid off $1,200, so now you owe $100 less. So the interest you're getting charged is on $100 less than it was, which means you get charged less interest, which means you're still paying the same amount. You're still paying your $1,200, but now you don't have to pay, your interest isn't $1,100. Your interest might be $1,050. So now all of a sudden you're paying $150 off your principal, whereas the first month it was only $100 off the principal. Hope that makes sense. Basically what happens is every month you pay, you're paying a little bit more off your principal every time. What that means is that what happens is you only pay a little bit off here, but then all of a sudden, as you've made more payments, your interest that you're getting charged is less and less, and it gets smaller. The interest that you pay get charged gets less and less every month because you've got less principal. So as your principal goes down, your interest goes down, which means your repayments take off more of the principal, which means it actually accelerates. So you pay off a little, and then all of a sudden it speeds up and you pay it off pretty quickly. Now, funnily enough, we were talking about this with credit cards. If you actually doubled your repayments, you wouldn't halve your time. Okay, if you have a look at it, I'll just do it very roughly. If you doubled your repayments, you wouldn't halve it, like that's 300. You wouldn't come down to here, okay, 150 months. You'd actually probably come down around here. Now, that's something you can work out. In this exercise, you're going to work out ways to pay it off better. But the whole point is the reason that it does that is because if you pay twice as much here, then you're going to have a lot less interest charged next month, which means every time you do that, you're actually paying more and more off the principal, which means this graph will look something like that, which is an excellent way to pay off a loan. Okay, so in this exercise, that's the sort of thing you're doing. So I just wanted to point that out so you're aware. Enjoy.